for nearly 3 decades. That's 30 years. One weekend every summer, New Orleans didn't just host a festival, it hosted a movement. But now people are asking a question nobody thought you ever hear. Is this the end of the Essence Festival in New Orleans? For years, Essence Fest has been the heartbeat of black culture every 4th of July weekend. Man, I'm talking about thousands of folks packed the Superdome. Hundreds of thousands of people flooded the streets. Hotels sold out. Clubs packed. Vendors, everybody making big money. We talking about one of the biggest cultural events in the country. Right here in New Orleans. But now, we breaking down what's really happening behind the scenes. What city leaders are saying, what organizers are hinting at, and whether the Essence Fest could actually lead the city it helped define. Because if Essence Fest lead New Orleans, that's not just a festival moving, that's culture shifting. Come on, we finna talk about this.
Essence Fest is whack and wash now because it's run by a bunch of Africans. There is no Black American culture that is reflected in Essence Fest anymore. Essence's CEO is an African. The chief, one of their chief top-level executives and officers is an African. The person that owns Essence Ventures is an African. So what used to be a celebration of Black American culture, the culture that is ours, the culture that we built from the ground up, the culture that Black Americans influenced the world through, has now been co-opted by some African diaspora, Pan-African, whatever, and a lot of Black people are just not feeling it. Now, I went to Essence Fest for the first time a couple of years ago. I think it was like Nicki Minaj, New Edition, and Janet Jackson were the headliners. It was absolutely incredible. It was a celebration of Black Americanness. There were Black people in and up and through it. It was a pure celebration of Black American culture and Black American heritage. But now that it's been co-opted by a bunch of Africans, it seems that nobody cares because they don't set culture for this world. We do. And until Essence Fest gets back to the Black Americans who created it and founded it and lead the culture, it will continue to fail with those Africans in charge.
I'm not sure who's over Essence right now, but get somebody else to do it. Give it back to whoever used to have it. 2025 at the convention center was garbage. A lot of space, very few vendors, and I've been going to Essence a long time. I've never seen it like this. Used to be one of the best places to go to support small Black businesses. That was not the case this year. I definitely hope it gets better because this was not it at all.
So I'm at Essence right now. It's 7:42. Started at 7. They announced the first performers, which were supposed to be Siren, a couple minutes ago. They just cut their music. They never came out. If you look around, it is so empty. And I understand people are going to be late, but where is everybody? What's going on? Where are the performers? Where are the performers?
I'm sitting here with you. I don't know.
It's interesting. Our first Essence has been interesting.
I think it's because it's 4th of July Friday.
Maybe, I don't... Okay. I'm just seeing a lot of trends this Essence with some miscommunications, stuff getting canceled or moved around last minute. I don't know. But where are the performers?
So what we have here is a cultural difference. You got Africans pushing their culture at the Essence Fest, which have been predominantly FBA Black American cultural experience. Now some things need to be left alone. Some things just can't be changed, and Essence Fest is one of those things. We want to see Patti LaBelle, Stephanie Mills, Frankie Beverly and Mays, not no damn Afro beats.
Well, What happened to Black American heritage at Essence Fest? So it's not one or not two, and there is a lot of complaints coming through, and the common consensus is the culture has shifted. It no longer feels like us. And honestly, that makes sense because the people in charge now do not value Black heritage. Essence Fest used to be known as the Cookout. It was created in 1995, created to center Black American heritage, the music, fashion, beauty, political power. It was basically like the family reunion created by Black people for Black people. Soul food, a little gospel, a little trap, NOLA. It was a culture that you felt deep in your chest. But now, not so much. It feels somewhat curated, corporatized, and it no longer feels like it centers us. The current CEO of Essence is a former DEI executive for Target. So the very thing that Black Americans are protesting, she was the center of, and now she's the center, well, she's the head, the CEO of Essence. Upon more research, I found out that she is originally from Kenya, and she moved to the U.S. when she was about 10 years old. The point of me bringing that up is she doesn't seem like she values Black American heritage, because if she did care, the festival will still reflect the very people it was built for. And seeing as though that's not the case, I can't help but think that she does not value Black American heritage. Instead, it's become a space that uplifts everyone else aside from Black American heritage. That shift is starting to feel really intentional. Local Black vendors are being pushed out, local creators and influencers are overlooked completely, all while being the very representation that is needed for Black-centered heritage in the South. It doesn't make any sense to me. It has slowly become a place that has been curated for optics and not community. This very thing is exactly what I was talking about in my previous videos when I asked the question, where are the Black American beauty creators? The answer is, we're being pushed out of the very spaces created and centered for us. And not just pushed out of these spaces like Essence Fest, but panels, brand deals, sponsorships, media. And all of this didn't happen by accident. It has happened through leadership, branding pivots, and sponsorship deals that prioritize global Blackness. Global Blackness, a movement that often leaves out the specific culture and heritage of Black Americans. And when brands talk about inclusion but sideline the very creators who made the culture, we should all be asking, if Essence no longer feels like us, who is it for?
This is a temporary restraining order issued in New Orleans on behalf of Essence Magazine that stopped Black business owners from making money during Essence Fest. Let me explain. This is Tamika and Kim. They own Lit Diaries in Atlanta. They were putting on an event in partnership with Baldwin and Company, who's owned by a brother named DJ in New Orleans, for Essence Weekend for Authors in New Orleans. Let me make a long story short. So Essence decides that they find out about this event that's happening at Baldwin and Company. They send a cease and desist letter. The parties involved respond to this letter to make it clear to Essence that we're not trying to copy anything that you guys are doing. There's no branding associated. We're independent. We're on private property. All of these things. Essence gets that letter. They still file an order with the courts. 7:30 the morning of the event, they get an order from the court that says that they cannot have their event the day of the event, and it's canceled. They can't have their event because the courts have said that this Black business, these two Black women, this Black-owned bookstore in New Orleans can't have their event, and Essence is the reason. The city council president of New Orleans issued this statement, though. Council President J.P. Morrell says, my office is aware that an event planned by a local business on private property during Essence Fest was forced to shut down due to an alleged violation of the Clean Zone Ordinance. It is completely inappropriate for any large-scale event visiting the city of New Orleans to negatively impact our local businesses with something akin to a non-compete clause. It is especially concerning that the canceled event was organized by a Black-owned business and would have showcased Black female authors on a weekend that is supposed to be dedicated to Black culture. It was never the intent of the council for any ordinance, much less the Clean Zone ordinance, to impact private businesses hosting private events that happen to coincide with the timing of Essence Fest. Here's my truth. The black women who are a part of creating this event, as well as DJ, the business owner in New Orleans, are people who I have an admiration and respect for because they do tremendous work for our community. It is wholly disappointing that Essence would file such a document to stop black folks from making money in New Orleans while you're a guest in our city. As great of a guest as you are, you're still coming here. And I'm going to be honest with you. As big of a show as Essence is, to say that you're worried about a small event at a bookstore and filing documents to stop it, it's really unfortunate. And as a guardian of black people and a guardian of the people of this state, I feel it's my obligation to say, y'all need to rectify this. You need to reach out to these folks. This is unacceptable, and this is not what we expect from Essence. We love what you do. We appreciate all that Essence is and represents, but you got to do right by us, not sometime, but all the time.
See, respect needs to be shown to the FBA culture. Coming in trying to change a cultural event, that's bound to go wrong. You can't just add African culture into ours. It don't blend right. It don't have that black American energy and vibe to it. That swag, the culture, the food, the style, the music, nothing else can compare to that. Just look at this fool on the screen with his pants all jacked up and built like an old auntie. This way it will become if it stays on the course it's headed. But it's probably too late. The event got a bad name with black Americans.
So last year when y'all had your commentary about Essence Fest, I shut the fuck up. Born and raised in New Orleans. Daddy people, mama people, both. Louisiana. You hear me? I watched the change in Essence Fest from me remembering as a little girl to last year, 2025. I watched y'all discourse back and forth, the African diaspora this, the African diaspora that, New Orleans culture this, New Orleans culture that. And the bottom line is that introducing the African diaspora to Essence Fest made it go bankrupt. You could argue with your mom. I watched them push out local vendors. I watched it all. I watched them not incorporate local talent as it had done before. I watched it all. And I shut the fuck up and I let y'all run y'all mouth and defending everybody. And look at where we are now. Other cultures speaking ill will on us indigenous peoples. Showing their true colors. Jollof and jambalaya. Y'all remember that? Where y'all at now? Because last I heard, Richie Lou Dennis was going bankrupt. Last I heard, venues wasn't getting paid for. Crickets? You mean to tell me he's scammed? Oh, he's scammed. That's the word of the day. Scam. Like I said, argue with your mom. I'm from here. Born and raised here. They fucked up Essence Fest.
How did you feel when they turned the conversation because of Target and Caroline, your CEO's past involvement with Target? They turned it into a Black American versus Black African conversation, and that whole thing exploded. Of like, Essence is losing its focus on Black Americans.
Yeah, I mean, those are one of the. I mean, I'd love to hear how you guys think about that, but that's one of those ones that I struggle with understanding intellectually, right? For a host of reasons. Let's just talk about the actual facts, right? So we had, 40 plus acts and performers, right? We had one Jamaican act
Buju.
performer Buju, and we had one African performer
Davido.
in Davido. Right. That to me doesn't say that we're losing our center. Right. We remain extremely centered on African American culture, right, and on Black women. That's our center. That doesn't mean we can't expand out from our center. All it means is we can't lose our center. So if you were on the ground, if you were there, you see that that center is very much there, right? You go into the convention center, right? You look at what happened on the stages. You look at what happened. If you were there, you know that we're still centered, right? But if you were there, you also know that we're growing and that we're broadening, because everybody has to grow or broaden. Otherwise, you won't be around, right? There's also sort of the philosophical approaches to this is I view myself as Black. I've benefited from being Black, and I have also lost from being Black. When I walk in the room, what people see, if they don't know me, when I walk in a room, I walk down the street, they see a Black man, right? My entire life has been dedicated to uplifting Black. I've focused it on the economics, on the economic side of Black, because that's what I know how to do. That's what I'm skilled at. The thing that I've learned from that is we're much better off when we're focused on our commonalities and we're building on those commonalities. As I said earlier, I grew up, King, Garvey, Lumumba, right? That the thinking around, hey, we have a much better chance of developing and growing our communities when we find the commonalities and the alignments, and we're working towards shared goals and shared objectives. When we don't do that, we become much smaller, right? And much more volatile and much more vulnerable.
I can't even believe you took the time to explain that. If
some people,
Buju Banton, and DeVito are walking down the street and a white supremacist see us, guess what he see?
Black
niggas.
That's it.
What are we talking about here?
Things are not looking good for the 2026 Essence Festival. Let's talk about debts owed and questions being asked. So to make a long story short, Louisiana legislators are saying that the people at the Essence Festival are not paying their bills. Yes, you heard me correctly. There are still outstanding bills from the 2025 Essence Festival that are still due, and people have some serious questions. Sundown Media is the company that owns Essence Festival. Sundown Media is also owned by West African businessman Richelieu Dennis. I'm going to just call him Rich for this. And they're saying that Rich's company, Sundown Media, owes the convention center, the New Orleans Convention Center, over $406,000. Now, as of last week, they actually owed the convention center $450,000, a little bit over. They did issue a $50,000 check. Therefore, the balance to the convention center is now $406,000. In addition to owing the New Orleans Convention Center, local vendors are also saying that they are owed money too. Some local vendors, for instance, are saying that they're owed about $1 million for production costs for putting on last year's Essence Festival. Now, traditionally, after these type of events, you have about 30 days to settle your tab. We are way over that now, so we're going to watch and see this story to see how it progresses for the 2026 Essence Festival. Now, I'm not going to get into the whole kerfuffle that happened in 2025 with the Essence Festival, but I will say this to Rich Dennis, who recently took over the Essence Festival and managing and producing it last year. You got to pay your bills, especially since you're new and upcoming with owning and managing this event. So get down in the comments and let me know what you think about the Essence Festival company Sundown owing the New Orleans Convention Center over $406,000, as well as owing local New Orleans vendors money. And also get down in the comments and let me know if you plan to attend the 2026 Essence Festival and support it in the future. Let me know. If you found value in this post, please make sure to like as well as share. And don't forget to follow the Black Death Society for your next daily brief.
Shady, shady, shady. Not paying bills is a bad look. So if he owes the Superdome over $500,000 and owe over $1 million total for last year's failed event, How could they even possibly have it this year? Especially knowing Black Americans not showing up. Ain't nobody coming to eat no damn jollof rice. Nobody coming to vibe out to no Afro beats. Even though I do use shea butter, we ain't coming to buy that either. And I ain't buying no dashikis from nobody with no ashy ass feet either.
Essence Festival may be canceled in 2026. At least it may not be in New Orleans, because the African dude that took over, Richie Dennis, he not paying people. He owe over $1.4 million. A portion of that to the Ernest Convention Center, he owed them over $400,000, and then the $1 million+ he owed to the vendors, he never paid the vendors. Now they run into the state legislature begging for money. They're begging for money from the state legislature. This is not a loan. They begging the state to bail them out, and the state is like, hold up, you owe vendors over $1 million? This is a problem. We may not be able to help you out because you owe the vendors over $1 million, right? Now, he's not saying how the amount he owed the vendors, but he says it's not in the millions. Of course, he's going to try to downplay it, but how did you end up in this predicament? Why are you not an honest businessman? Why are you not paying those folks that you owe money? And they say they generated like hundreds of millions of dollars off the Essence Festival. What are you doing with the money, bro? But yeah, it may not be an Essence Festival in 2026, at least not in New Orleans. And they're releasing a statement Tuesday.
Child, come here, let me tell you something. The Africans that done took over Essence Fest may have ran it into the goddamn ground. There might not be an Essence Fest 2026 because word on the curve, they owe a lot of people some money. And let me show y'all something. Hold on. This Essence Fest faces scrutiny after owing $456,000 from 2025 event. But that's not it. Let's get into this article, okay? And this article I got, this is according to hiphop.com. The Essence Festival is under increased scrutiny after reports reveal that the organizers still owe more than $406,000 to the New Orleans vendors and service providers stemming from the 2025 event. The unpaid balances have raised concerns among local officials and could complicate efforts to secure public funding for the upcoming 2026 festival. According to the public records and statements from the Ernest N. Memorial Convention Center, Essence Fest owed the venue approximately $456,000 as of last week after a $50,000 payment was made. Roughly $406,000 remains outstanding. Convention Center's policies require that event balances be settled within 30 days, an obligation that has already been missed for the 2025 festival. Child. The Convention Center is not the only party waiting payment, y'all. They owe everybody and their mother, child. All right? Not just the Convention Center where they actually host the event at. Several local vendors and at least one production company have reported unpaid invoices tied to last year's event. One production's firm's claim reportedly exceeds $1 million. Although Sundown Media Group, the parent company behind Essence Fest, has disputed that figure. Organizers have stated that they are actively reviewing and resolving outstanding invoices while continuing to plan future programming. The financial dispute is now drawing attention from state lawmakers who are weighing whether to provide funding for the 2026 festival. Louisiana State Rep Jack McFarland, chairman of the House Appropriations Committee, said organizers will need to address the issue directly if they hope to secure additional public support. Now, I don't know. The way it's looking, they owe everybody and their mother every time they can have reach out, and you are not about to get no support for. First of all, the way y'all tried to colonize and co-opt it and turn it into Jollof versus jambalaya, we wasn't jacking that. So I don't even know if a lot of people are even going to go to Essence Fest as much as, would have in the past, because it's giving cultural appropriation and y'all trying to just take over the way y'all keep trying to take over everything we do. And it's weird. Like, y'all could have created your own African Fest or something else, right? And then on top of that, owing the convention center where you actually got to host the whole event, I don't know, that puts a salty taste in people's mouths. I don't think anybody's going to really rally behind this. It might not be in New Orleans, child. They might have to find a whole nother state. You see how they just coming in and ruining, child. I don't know what y'all think about this. This is why we was all like up in arms, because we saw this coming. We foresaw this. Like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like, start your own thing. Like, it's just like the whole takeover, like the revisionist history, trying to make it seem like now all of a sudden everything is flat blackness. Essence Fest is for the Africans, and y'all just running it into the hole. And this is the United States of America. Y'all cannot come over here with them shady business practices. You will get sued. I know y'all have a lot of lax laws over there on the continent. That's why Burna Boy said, "Oh, I like I like being home in Africa because America, I can't do what I want." He literally said, "I can live freely and do whatever I want in Africa. As long as you got a little bit of coin, people will let it go." But not out here. You cannot just only pay $50,000 on a $456,000 tab. Like, this is not whatever. I don't even know exactly which country he comes from, because I know y'all gonna be crying in the comments. Y'all only like to be called Africa when y'all talking about somebody stealing y'all resources. If they stealing resources from Africa, it don't matter if you're living in Zimbabwe. If they taking the resources from Congo, you're gonna claim that. Or when you want to call it the motherland, then it's all of Africa. But if it's something bad, y'all want us to be very specific down to the goddamn tribe. I don't know. If y'all know exactly where he's from, I remember I reported on this last year when all of this was happening and unfolding. But y'all could drop it in the comments. Anyways, you don't play with people in New Orleans. Y'all do know that is the capital of Hootie Hoo. So why would you want to play with them people? Anyways, spread love is the Brooklyn way. Why would you want to play with Black Americans, period? And you see how this is coming out during Black History Month? Our ancestors is really waking us up collectively and saying, y'all not about to play with us. Y'all not about to play with our children. Y'all not about to play with our offspring. Everybody is getting what they deserve. Don't start nothing, won't be nothing. Sound off in the comments below.
It's also the jewel in the crown. It's the one it's the thing that funds the magazine.
Yes.
Yeah. It's really important.
Stephanie Mills wrote, I'm not gonna read the whole letter, but she wrote an open letter to the Essence organizers. She's writing to share my feedback. I remain grateful, all the yada yada yadas. But she said, the challenges I encountered were multifaceted and, in my view, indicative of broader organizational shortcomings. The schedule and time management were severely lacking, creating a chaotic and stressful environment backstage. The disorganization cascaded onto the stage, impacting the flow of the event and ultimately diminishing the quality of the performances. And she said, basically, these are not isolated instances beyond the logistics, the technical difficulties, all of that. She was just saying it's an overall issue. Other thing I want to add is it's not just Essence. I want to talk about the Essence in a minute, but it's not just Essence. The Jazz Festival, a couple of annual jazz festivals have been down in attendance. Like, a lot of big Black festivals are down now. And what I'm wondering is maybe we should stop trying to have these things every year. Maybe this needs to be an every 2-year thing, every 4-year thing.
Why?
Well, because
nobody says the same. There was a lot of criticism in regards to Essence Magazine, their main sponsor being Target, because of the boycott that is still in effect. But the issue with that is Carolyn Wanga is the CEO of Essence, and she used to be head of DEI at Target.
For 15 years.
Exactly. And so when you have a contract with an organization like Target, they have been a long-running sponsor. This is pre-boycott. This is pre-everything. You can't just get out of that contract just because of, political issues or whatever the case is. You know what I'm saying? And then she was also kind of responsible for bringing Target into Black, communities.
Because the conversation is about this Kenyan lady alienating Black Americans. Okay, I heard about that. And Essence Festival being some Black American shit since '92 or whenever the fuck it was.
Yes. Carolyn Wanga, she's the CEO of
She also
has Kenyan citizenship.
You got all these flags everywhere. You know I'm bad at geography, so I don't know. But I know the flags when I see them. So it's everything except for
Black Americans.
Just some Black American shit. They say the town, the feeling in the town is you've alienated the Black businesses, local Black businesses that have contributed to the curation of Essence Fest forever. I know when I went in 03 and 04 and around that whole hood, a big part of that was the local businesses. So now you done shut them out the game. All right, cool. Now you got this Target shit going on while there's a boycott. You are not organized. Maybe you don't have your pulse on things to really get people out here. I don't think it's people don't have money. I don't think it's nothing but the soul is gone. The soul is gone. Sometimes it's okay to say when you see it, I know it's sensitive, but the soul is gone.
And I think that's the point. For me, it's less about her heritage.
Oh yeah, I wasn't putting that on.
I know you're not.
I wasn't doing that.
But that is what people are saying. You know, there are a lot of people online who are saying, you know, she's not of Negro lineage, slave lineage, and therefore but it's not that. I think that's beside the point. I think it's what you're getting at, which is there's fewer black content creators involved, fewer black designers, fewer black artists on the organizational side and the design side. I don't know if that's the reason, but that's definitely true that there's less of that happening right now, and a lot of people are concerned about that. Again,
Essence Fest don't seem to have the money that they once had. We keep talking about the people. All of those people that hopped in trucks, hit the road, bought flights, the dope boys. That word hit the hood, and it was the talk for a little while. There is zero Essence Fest talk.
I'm gonna keep going back, but when Summer Jam happened, we sat here and was like, that shit was today?
But to Freeze's point, Joe, what do you think the issue would be if there is lack of promotion?
You didn't even see a streamer there. Like, what are y'all talking about? We in 2025.
Got it. So they're not in touch with what's going on now.
They don't know what the fuck is going on because who is in charge?
I got what you're saying.
We ain't up there. Anybody that's trying to promo an event should say streamer in their meeting.
And
nigga, there are Z-list streamers.
Right.
You don't have to have a Kai Cenat. There's other streamers. The effort involved in this, they missed the boat. They missed the attendance boat.
Yeah.
Wallow wasn't there. Fuck the streamers. Shard wasn't there. What are we talking about? We black culture. We know what the fuck black culture looks like for the last 10 years. Stop, because we on the pod. You can say it. We can say it. People are missing the boat on black culture. Why is that difficult to say as black people? The older you get and the more you gain understanding about how America works and functions, you'll see it more than you would like to see it. And I'm not just talking about from white people when I say that.
Can't speak to how much Target gave, but what I can speak to is after talking to people, the contract with Target was something that it was a long running contract and you just can't break it.
That's cool, but where's the rest of the contracts?
Right.
That's cool, and you couldn't do nothing with the contract, with the Target contract. We got that. Black people will look over there and give it the side eye like they did.
Yeah.
Where are the other contracts?
But have we not heard about a lot of companies that, like, once DEI was done away with, they just literally walked away?
That means those companies picked a side, which also means there are companies that pick the other side.
The only thing I would add to this as we move on is just, as a community, we gotta know what's at stake here. Essence is a staple.
Got it.
And this festival is the thing that keeps Essence going. Black magazines, black media in general is dying. And print media in general is dying. I mean, that's why there's no Jet magazine. That's why, Black Enterprise, has struggled. That's why, all of them, Jet, Ebony, all of them. Essence is one of the ones that has thrived, but it's because of this festival. So when we choose not to support or not to go, we're not just not supporting the festival. We're actually taking a real big strike against like one of the real monuments in our culture. So couldn't agree more. We gotta all think about that.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it. Black America has spoken, and we're gonna respond with our dollars. Nobody's showing up, vendors or music acts. Everybody throw off with the switch up. We don't go trying to insert our stuff in y'all culture. We love our culture and want to keep it the way it's always been. We want our artists, our food, our dances, and our vibe. Hell, I don't want no jollof rice. I want baked beans with ground beef and bacon in it, oxtails, baked chicken, sweet potato pie, mac and cheese, with cookout music playing while folks doing the electric slide. But anyway, if you made it this far in the video, do me a favor. Hit the like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll catch y'all in this video. Peace.